Be sure to check out the video description below for many helpful links, including a document to the dart shapes, other videos that I have on darting specific forms, and a link to my Amazon influencer storefront, and to a Google Doc of my favorite tools and material recommendations. This video is going to demonstrate how you can use darts, as illustrated here, to cut out very specific shapes on cylinders to alter the cylinder dramatically. I will be using slab built cylinders, but the same technique can be used, of course, with wheel thrown cylinders. I have 4 dart shapes that I'm going to be using. One looks like a V that's rounded and sort of U-shaped, except it does have a point. One is a V that is like rounded, almost like, like little bird wings. One is a straight V, and one is, I would refer to that as an elongated leaf shape. I will set these aside and show you. Now, I have 4 cylinders that I have made out of slabs. I did not bother to put a bottom on it because I'm not planning on keeping these. I am using this just for the illustration purposes for this video. So in my classroom, I have darts cut out of different shapes for my students to try. Each dart represents a shape that will be cut out on a bevel from a cylinder, and when the sides go together, when it's beveled, it will meet up nicely. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to start out with this one that is, I refer to that as shaped like a V that's a little bit rounded like bird wings. So I have different lines on these to indicate how deep I might end up by cutting it, or when I say how deep, I mean how long I will cut it. And I'm going to start off with this one by cutting 4 darts. Now, I like to line up the first one, typically on the seam, depends on your particular form. But again, this is just a demonstration. I'm not actually making a form that is going to be something. But you can use this technique to create any type of form. I have a video in which I use this very dart to create the top of a teapot as it comes in. It's a cylinder and it just comes in, it closes off the top of the teapot. Now, you can use any number of darts on a form. I just am using 4 right here, so this will kind of square it up. If I used 3, of course it would be more like a triangle. If I, used 5, 6, it would tend to begin to round it slightly a little bit more. All right, so I have my 4 darts. Let me put this on here and I can spin it. I have my 4 darts marked. Okay, and now I'm going to cut them. When I cut the darts, I'm going to be holding my knife at an angle to the top edge. So let me see if I can, there we go. So see, I'm not doing straight in. I'm holding it at an angle to the top edge. So when I cut each side, I'm cutting it at an angle. This is the same principle that I use when I put together the side seams of a cylinder. I cut it at a bevel, because when you overlap the bevels, they hold much more securely. So you can see that is cut at a bevel, and the dart that I removed is beveled as well. Now I'm going to do all 4 the same way. This is a fun thing to experiment with. I would encourage you to think about how can you alter forms to create some nice combinations of forms together. You could use different sorts of darts together in the same form. Okay, so let's take a look at this dart again. So I removed this clay, and this is going to now lead to my outer contour of the form. So as I bring this in, and of course, if I were making a form that I wanted to keep, I would be scoring and slipping, but let's just pretend that I've done it for this video. I don't want to take the time to do that. I want to bring this in, and then as I push that bevel together, I want you to understand that that is the contour that I've just created. So each time the corners come together, that is your contour, okay? So again, I would score and slip. This is for demonstration purposes only, that I'm not scoring and slipping. So this does create kind of a rounded corner there. It kind of billows out. And again, I'll link, I have a video where I do show some of these darts. You know what? Actually, I think I'll make a Google Doc and I'll put it in the video description of different forms that I have with different darts so you can see what they look like. All right, so that would be an example of this dart, right? This one right here. Okay. Then let's look at our next. Let's look at this straight one. Okay, so this is somewhat similar. It's got a little less curve to it. So this one, I am going to just make sure that my lines are straight on that. Instead of any curves, it's just going to be straight. I'm going to line up. So if I'm doing 4, I'm lining them up right across from each other. And then perpendicular to those. I could measure this in advance, but for demonstration purposes, I'm not really worried about that. Okay. Last one. Okay. Now once again, bevel, cut straight, and I'm watching the edge of my blade to make sure that the edge of my blade is following the line that I drew. Okay, again, we're going to slip and score if we wanted to keep this. Okay, and as I put this together a little bit more precisely, this one creates a nice angular bottom. So it's a little more crisp and less rounded. So again, that contour is straight. This would be the same dart that I used in the video where I made the round slab cup with the squared bottom, but I probably did the dart a little less deep. Okay, so I should take this guy, let's stick it on here. Okay, all right, let's do the next one. Now this one is going to create the opposite contour of this, whereas this one bumps out, this one is going to sink in. So let's do, I'll do the smallest here. I'm going to go a little deeper. And here I am just redoing all of these a little bit deeper. I wanted a deeper dart. I initially drew my my dart on that less deep, and then I changed my mind. So that's why I have double lines. Now I'm going to bevel. Okay, so now those bevels are obviously quite a bit bigger, and again, I would score and slip, and as these come together, you can see it creates more of a neck. So it would be almost bottle-like because there's less of that edge that's left there. And again, I would just push that together. Again, scoring, slipping, blending on the inside would all be key for this. In there, you can see how it comes together. All right. I obviously didn't quite match that one up straight either, but gives you an idea. Let's just stick that one on there. So that shows you. And then the last one, this is the leaf. Now, the leaf could be put right in the middle of the side. It could be all the way down on the bottom. It could be up at the top. Of course, if you do something like this, that's essentially this one that we just did. So I'm just going to put it right in the middle so we can see what will happen. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. Again, inserting the knife at an angle. Take that dart out, and as that pushes together, you can really see what happens. This is a dart that's pretty dramatic, and imagine that you could use this in combination with all sorts of things. Maybe you want to do a pitcher spout or something, you want to put a handle on it. You know, in the case of this one, I made it all the way around. You know, I put 3 darts in it. But that definitely gives you an idea of what darting can do and how it can alter a form dramatically. Again, I encourage you to play, think about darting in combination, and I'll work on a Google Doc that I'll put in the video description so you can see some forms that have actual darts on them that might give you some more ideas. So have fun playing in clay and darting your forms.